collectively agreed to forget about Bedeviled, and frankly, I don't blame us. Unfortunately, Countdown's pretty forgettable too. Anyone who has paid attention watching horror movies could tell you exactly how every beat of this thing goes. And because of a PG-13 rating, it's unable to get graphic with its kills, instead relying on frequent and cheap jump scares. Still, it's got some decent direction, a well-designed demon, and some lighthearted fun to it. So if you're new to horror movies or want something you don't have to get too invested in, you could definitely pick something worse to watch. Besides, I think it's important to occasionally look at mediocre and unremarkable horror movies, just to remind ourselves that the genre is good and always bad. Sometimes it's just, whatever. How many kills occur in this horror movie? Well, there's an app for that. There's a YouTube host for that. And it's me! The movie begins at a solo cup party. And by that I mean exactly what you know I mean. Look at that game of beer pong. A small splintering of this young hip party is seated around playing drinking games and talking shit about their peers.
Liz Murphy needs to stop posting pics of her food. We get it, Liz. You're vegan.
As long as y'all ain't talking shit about my boy Austin Zazier there, he of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and his YouTube channel. He's got a web series with Kevin Smith on there called Son in Lockdown that I found very endearing. Good work, Austin. The kids end up stumbling across an app called Countdown that has a singular Cassandran purpose.
If you could know exactly when you were going to die, would you want to know?
Ooh, how are you gonna react to that, Jeannie? Everyone, including the reluctant Courtney here, downloads the app and conducts the universal daily lie, then compare their countdowns. Most of their readouts range between 20 and 60 odd years, but Courtney's working on a bit of a shorter timetable.
It says I only have 3 hours to live.
You're gonna die!
Oh man, it sucks that Austin Zazier's not in the rest of this movie. Courtney goes to leave with her boyfriend Evan, but with his BAC getting into the 10th decimal place, she doesn't need 13 reasons why she shouldn't let him drive. Not wanting to let the app's death prediction come true, she opts to walk home by herself instead, as Evan drives off angry. Whoa, Court, was that a clown in your pocket, or our agreement broken? Yo, and they sending Dementors out to enforce those? Here it is again in case you missed it. Spooky! Courtney gets home and tries to calm herself down, but eventually her clock runs out. I mean, I guess I'll count her as dead now, even though, isn't she dying a little early there? Oh, never mind. It was perfectly timed, which is actually pretty crucial to this whole plot. And looks like her time was supposed to run out in Evan's car, since at that very moment, a tree...
Holy shit, why we got 13 viewers on here?
Pretty well done opening scene out of the way. We begin the movie.
Alright guys, if y'all didn't notice, Schedule 1 did add Fent to this game. Damn, 13 viewers or something like that. I can't even pronounce that dude's name. I gotta make a drug deal. Alright, bet. Yo, please subscribe. Hope the bitrate's good. If you want sour diesel, I just cheeked him out of sour diesel. Oh, he's 80% satisfied. Poor guy. Well, eat shit.
Movie proper by meeting our real main character. Hospital intern Quinn Harris is working hard to become a nurse, which means rolling carts down.
Guys, send a super chat if you love me.
Pre-op patients. Evan, the car crashing
where can I
drunk
put this
driver, tells her
jar?
about the countdown app that correctly
I'm
predicted
gonna grab some
his
horse
girlfriend's
semen.
death.
And now it's saying that I'm gonna die during that surgery.
Quinn mentions the app to her coworkers as they
Yo guys, type in the
celebrate
chat if
her
y'all like this new
nurse's
game.
exam,
Can y'all hear me?
which once again
Hey, can y'all
leads
hear me?
everyone
Hello?
comparing
Hello?
the length of
Hello?
her lifeline.
Hello?
57 years. That'll make me 98.
Can y'all hear me?
Good for you, Dr. Sullivan, or should we say Dr. Centenarian. Quinn installs the app and
Who should I
agrees
beat
to
up
the
with this
terms
fucking
and
bat?
conditions, only to find out she's got 2 days and change left to live. If only she had that much time before having to deal with Doc Sullivan's inappropriate workplace behavior. But the countdown for that ish ends at 5, 4, 3, 2, there it is. Ew. Quinn goes to her childhood home to get her birth certificate, but it's a place filled with painful memories of deceased
We're gonna grab this
patrons,
horse
so
cum.
she tries to sneak in and out without seeing anyone.
Mixture.
She fails when she runs into her younger sister Jordan,
begin.
who doesn't appreciate Quinn's constant absence.
See you in another 6 months then? Cool.
Aw, don't be like that,
Holy
Jordan.
shit, this
Come
is
on,
so
you
fucking
wanna build a
difficult.
snowman or something? Their sisterly
There we go.
squabbles wake up their dad Charlie,
Mix.
and before Quinn can get out of there, he gets her
Wonder
on
what
the
horse
hook
semen
to
makes.
visit their mom's grave that weekend.
Girl Scout milk.
With Evan's countdown saying he's got 3 minutes left, he decides to ditch his surgery in an attempt to keep himself safe. Oh shit, dude, the RAM app is pissed again. And don't look now, but the enforcer's been sent out. Maybe you'll be okay if you just... Nope, get on out of there. He goes to a stairwell of stock sound effects.
Fuck you.
Sees Courtney standing on the steps, looking a little bit more backwards than the last time he saw her. His phone falls down the stairwell.
What
gives
I
us
got for a deal with
countdown
her?
to our second kill of the film.
Oh, fuck you.
Quinn finds out about Evan's death from Nurse Amy, played by Tachina Arnold, who is one of the kick-ass Greek chorus gals in Little Shop of Horrors. Remembering what he said about the app, she grabs his phone to investigate, and though it takes some effort, is able to unlock it.
Man, I need to unlock more weed. Alright, what I need to do is trim all this
Hey,
shit up.
don't you come to daddy us, mister. You keep your eyes to yourself. And, you know, looking forward, if you can. Perhaps getting cold feet after seeing Evan's cold body, Quinn calls her dad and cancels her cemetery visit. And by the sound of her phone, she just canceled her trip to the grave in more than one way. And that's how you get visited by hospital ghouls. Nah, just playing. Or am I? Dr. Sullivan corners Quinn in a room, and after giving her a hug that should definitely be more ass out, he implies that she should pay him back for all the career help he's provided.
Guess you're in now.
Oh, I don't think that's appropriate.
Man, Elizabeth Lyle just can't get away from obsessive stalkers, huh? The doctor doesn't take no for an answer, a much more physical villain than the Spectre she passed a few minutes ago. And when Quinn tries to report the incident to Nurse Amy, she gets talk blocked by Sullivan, who pulls Amy away for a task. That son of a bitch. Yeah, we know, phone. User agreement broken. Quinn looks up Countdown in an internet search and finds an article about Courtney.
Oh
and a
yeah, all
video
this
from a
good
commenter
kush.
saying
Oh, well,
she
we're
too
full.
is experiencing unintended spooky side effects from the app.
Like last night, I saw my cousin who died in April. I saw him.
The woman then says it's here, and I'll believe her and count her as dead, even though plenty of the comments think it's fake and or bullshit. They're probably right, Quinn. Never mind! Since Quinn can't get Countdown off her phone, she takes it to a repair guy who's not too concerned about getting good Yelp reviews.
Who's your manager?
Let me go get him. Just
Yeah,
hang
go
out.
get him.
Hold on. Hello, I'm the manager. Something I can help you with?
Derek here is played by comedian Tom Segura and is one of the movie's bright spots, breathing life into the paint-by-numbers plot with his character work.
I trust you. Something in your eyes says you're a normal, completely sane person.
He sells her a clean new phone, but the thing gets corrupted and no
Dude, I need more fucking shit.
Next.
and the Countdown app is once again unable to be removed. Another customer named Matt hears Quinn freaking out, so he goes to the parking lot and shows her that he's part of the Countdown Club too. They head to a bar and talk about the app's user agreement in flat dialogue meant to be funny.
Did you read it?
Yeah, terms and conditions. Every word.
Really?
No.
Let's see a little energy here, people. Come on. Wanting to read over the agreement again, they decide to use the phone of a drunk conspiracy theorist barfly played by John Bishop, who, 35 years earlier, played a very excitable bully in Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, that's what I thought you said. Reading over the terms and conditions more closely, they discover the clause likely causing their problems.
Any attempt to use information derived from Countdown to alter the user's fate will result in a breach of this agreement. Accept the terms of our fate.
Matt says he attempted to alter his fate when he canceled a trip he would have been on when his countdown would hit 0. Just like Quinn canceled her cemetery visit, which also would have occurred at the end of her death clock. You know, I think it's pretty obvious. There's only one explanation here.
Demons.
Yeah! Wait, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like demon stuff to me.
I guess it's demon stuff. They're directed to a demonologist by a priest at the hospital, but on their way to go see him, Nurse Amy pulls Quinn aside, leaving Matt to do his best Ian Malcolm impression.
I'm talking to myself.
That's chaos theory. Matt has a bathroom run-in with the feet of a young boy who just can't pick which stall he wants to poop in. Hell, he can't even figure out how to walk backwards without breaking his ankles. Damn! The lights flicker off, there's a scary flying demon kid, but then it disappears, and that scene is over. Nurse Amy takes Quinn into a surprise HR meeting where Doc Sullivan has managed to get out in front of her complaint.
But you cornering me in my office like that wasn't okay. It needs to be addressed.
Quinn is understandably pissed about her abuser's, what were those comments saying? Oh yeah, bullshit. And she storms out of the room when no one listens to her side of the story.
She seems like a very unstable young woman.
Quinn and Matt go to a church to meet their demonologist and find him in the back listening to Lil Nas X and munching on Jesus crackers. Body of Christ. Father John is played by PJ Byrne, who was the sex pest in the best Final Destination movie. And it's great to see him in a less obnoxious role here, as an excitable but inexperienced demon-obsessed priest.
I love this stuff. I mean, the Bible is like the ultimate graphic novel.
Producer Sean Anders calls Father John the Comic-Con priest, and his character, along with Derek the phone repair dick, points to how the filmmakers were hoping to make Countdown a fun horror movie. Makes sense that this movie would have a comedic tone, since producer Anders primarily works in comedy, having written Hot Tub Time Machine and written and directed the Daddy's Home movies. In fact, the producer met director Justin Deck when Deck was a PA on Anders' first studio film, 2008's Sex Drive. Always maintain those connections, folks. Father John tells Quinn and Matt a story about a Roma woman who once told a prince when he would die. When the prince tried to avoid his fate, he got hit with a cosmic punishment in the form of a fictional demon.
It's the demon, Ozan.
Ozan, that scary mofo, tormented the priest until his prescribed moment of death, which is the same fate that awaits anyone who breaks Countdown's terms and conditions. Hoping to get more info from the app, Quinn and Matt return to Derek and give him their credit cards to hack into it.
This feels illegal. I like it.
He opens the app's code, and after noting that it has some Latin written into it, begins searching up their names. Derek sees that he has 32 years left and decides to alter the code and set himself up for an oldest living person record. When he goes to look up Quinn's code, they discover that her sister Jordan's name is also listed inside the app.
Her clock is the same as mine.
Actually, no. Hers is 3 minutes shorter.
Did you just actually this woman about her sister dying, dude? He changes all their codes and takes off for a Tinder date, leaving Quinn and Matt a little more relieved, now that they'll live to be Nona and octogenarians. Still, they figure this whole experience is as good an excuse as any to stay the night with each other.
Do you want to be alone tonight?
Not at all.
At Quinn's house, Matt divulges his #traumatic past. When he was 10, his younger brother got sick, which took up all his parents' attention and got the 6 siblings some sweet toys.
You stupid robot dinosaur.
Whoa, ain't nothing stupid about no robot dinosaur. Anyway, Matt took the dino robot from his dying bro, not thinking about how guilty he would feel until this very day, or about how his dead brother would visit him in hospital bathrooms. Quinn also opens up and says how once upon a time, when she was young, she ran off to a party, and when her mom went out to look for her, she got killed by a drunk driver. With their misery tale trade complete, the two of them have earned a snuggle sesh. Oh, I love snuggle sessions. Don't you, Matt?
Yo, you calling my name?
Wait, if you're... Oh my god! Turns out their app hacking didn't work worth shit, and both of them are back down to their final hours. Jordan is as well, which is why she's getting tormented by Ozan, who appears as their dead mother asking where Quinn is. Quinn comes and gets her, and the three of them go back to Father John, who translates the Latin in the app's code.
This curse will come upon you, will pursue you and overwhelm you until you are utterly destroyed. This is good. This is like really good.
He's excited because he thinks he knows how to break the curse. All they have to do is prove Satan a liar by making their death clock wrong, even if only by a single second. They create a protective symbol on the ground using white paint and blessed holy salt. The plan is to stay inside its boundaries, keeping them safe from deadly demons until Matt's clock runs out and Satan is proven wrong. As his countdown nears its end, Ozin comes a-calling, but he's unable to cross the sodium boundary, no matter how scary he be looking. I really like Ozin's design, which was done by Scott Stoddard, who worked on the Friday remake, and Howard Berger of K&B, who's worked on, everything. They based the design off a drawing by Aaron Sims, who also created Stranger Things' Demogorgon, and K&B effects artist Dirk Rogers portrayed the demon on set after a makeup process that only took a single hour. Surprisingly, Ozin is almost entirely practical, aside from some digital augmentation around his eyes. Unable to get in, Ozin decides to lure Matt out by sending in the greatest toy of all time, motherfucking robot dinosaur. Ozin appears as Matt's younger brother again and admonishes him for his childhood thievery, then gets him to take a step outside the salt circle so it can grab him and pull him away. By time Quinn gets outside to help, Matt is hit by a truck and smashed straight into a tree. Poor guy. Anyone got a painkiller to give him? Might make his last seconds more comfortable as they run out right on time, solidifying their failure to extend someone's life past their countdown. Jordan's bleeding from a spill she took in the basement, so Quinn takes her to the hospital she works at, probably hoping to get the family rate. While there, she's approached by another nurse named Rachel, played by Lana McKissack, who once had a YouTube channel and who very nearly became a drunk Disney guest back in the day. Rachel tells Quinn that she heard about what happened with Slimy Sullivan, and that she too has been a victim of the guy's harassment. Rachel's revelation gives Quinn an idea. If she can't prove Satan a liar by keeping someone alive, maybe she can do it by making someone punch their time card early. With her and her sister's countdowns nearing an end, she decides her only option is to orphan some vampires. Quinn goes to Sullivan and comes on to him, saying that she wants her job back and is willing to do anything for it. She leads him to a closed wing of the hospital, where he follows a trail of her attire. But this game of cat and mouse ends when the mouse runs up and starts beating the shit out of the cat. Quinn goes to stab Sullivan with a fatal dose of morphine, but he just says no with the help of his friend Ozin. She catches up to him, kicks him in the nuts, and shouts a timely reference,
Your time's up, you rapey fuck!
But even after she chucks a fucking crowbar at him, she's unable to kill him thanks to continual interference by the bulldozing Ozin. Jordan's staring down the end of her death clock, meaning she might get canceled early without a satisfying conclusion. Damn, Ozin, you're really about to throw a high school girl through a window? That's ruthless. He's just about to kill Jordan when Quinn appears with a plan C in hand. Unable to extend someone's life or shorten someone else's, Quinn has decided to end her own life early to make Satan a liar and finally break the curse. Ozin tries to stop her with a hallucination of their dead mom, but Quinn sticks to her plan and sticks herself with an overdose of morphine. Sorry, Ozin, floating Quinn in the air ain't about to save her. She's dead, ahead of your clock, meaning Satan's just like Paul Giamatti, a big fat liar. With his curse broken, Ozin straight up disintegrates right in front of him and drops Quinn's body to the ground. A distraught Jordan tends to her dead sister and finds some post-mortem instructions on her arm. Looks like she can save Quinn through the power of, all together now, drugs. It works, and Quinn is revived. But I'm gonna leave her on the kill count, because I think she would have technically had to die in order for the plan to work. I don't think you can just fake a death for a demon. So to me, it still technically counts as a kill, even if they did throw a reverse Uno card at it. Does that contradict my counting in some earlier episode? Almost certainly. I mean, there's 240 of these fucking things. Quinn's family finally makes that cemetery visit, and they see on the news that Doc Sullivan has been arrested. So the movie ends with everything great, right? Wrong, because Quinn just found a new app on her phone. Oh, yeah, there's also a mid-credit scene where Kevin is shown being piggish on a Tinder date with fellow comedian Christina Pazitsky, who also happens to be Tom Segura's real-life wife. Oh, that's nice. The app's little scream goes off, and we hear his countdown changing, but I'm not gonna count a kill here, because Kevin's original timeline showed him living for decades more. And it doesn't make sense to me that Ozin would make himself a liar just for widow old Kevin. How many kills did I count up and count down? Let's find out and... You know what, actually, I don't really feel like doing the numbers today. I just...
Oh, fuck me.
What? I didn't sign no contract. I'm my own boss, Ozen. Though I guess, you know, maybe I should just go do the numbers anyway. You know, just in case. There were 5 deaths in Countdown, though only 4 of them stayed permanent. Huh, lower body count than I'd expect. Oh well, at least it gave us one of those rare female majority pie charts. With a runtime of 91 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 18.2 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Evan. Obviously, none of these kills were bangers, but his was the best directed, I think. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to the snuff video victim, since we couldn't really see what happened to him. And that's it. Countdown came out in 2019, and is just one of those whatever movies, you know? On Friday, we look at a classic, the 1933 Invisible Man. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank some patrons like Colton Bell, Amanda Kronstad, David Scholar, Abby, Matthew, Mitch Gibson, and Abigail M. I'm looking to make some tweaks to the set going forward. I would love to hear your advice. What do you want to see? I know I had the Dead Meat sign up there before. I want to have it up there again. I'm just hesitant to nail into this newly painted wall, you know? The colored lights that were in the back, those aren't there right now. Do you miss those? Did you notice those? Thanks, everyone. Be good people. Welcome to The Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at The Hunt, released after a notorious delay in 2020. The Hunt is a political, horror, action, comedy, thriller, whatever movie that features Americans trying to kill each other over their partisan beliefs.
Those people that are shooting at you, they're just exercising the very same right?
The fuck are you talking about?
It's a satire on the sad state of civility today, when people with differing political opinions are more likely to see each other as mortal enemies than fellow Americans. Like I said, The Hunt's release was delayed in a big way. Originally scheduled to come out in the fall of 2019, it was postponed after the tragic shootings in Dayton and El Paso. It was eventually released in March of 2020, just in time for COVID to shut down movie theaters, prompting distributor Universal to release it early to streaming. After some early criticism from both sides of the political spectrum before anyone ever even saw it, including a possible reference in one of President Trump's tweets, it's safe to say that The Hunt had one of the most controversial releases of recent horror movies. Is it really as scandalous as all that suggests? I mean, no, not really. Yeah, the movie's plot is that a bunch of coastal liberal elites are hunting and killing so-called deplorables. But it's all in the service of jokes, since The Hunt is a dumb comedy loaded up with political stereotypes of all stripes. And it actually does the whole both sides thing pretty well. I'd say this is a much more neutral parody than anything you'd see on late-night talk shows or SNL. The left and the right both get made fun of for the identity politics they employ, though it all feels pretty innocent and with a big old wink to the audience. I don't think this movie's trying to shit on anyone, really. If there's any takeaway message, it's probably just, hey, that's kind of dumb that we're so at each other's throats right now. Maybe we should knock it off. To go along with its cartoonish political message, The Hunt's got a lot of big cartoonish kills, and I grabbed a sponsor for this episode so I could leave them all uncensored. Raycon earbuds give you great sound and a comfortable fit starting at about half the price of other premium earbuds on the market. They can be used every day while you work and or play, making them an excellent holiday gift for friends and family, even the ones you disagree with politically. Hell, they even come in different colors, so you can get a red pair for your live free or die father-in-law, and a blue pair for your vegan niece with the rose in her Twitter handle. You can make an affordable gift even more budget-friendly with 15% off your order. So get your holiday shopping in now at buyraycon.com/deadmeat. Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/deadmeat to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. Left, right, hunters, hunties, I don't discriminate when there are bodies to count, except for bastard skellies. Let's get to the kills. The movie begins with a group chat. A guy named Richard badmouths the man in the White House, and a woman named Athena tells him not to worry. They'll be able to hunt down deplorables at the manor soon. Oh my god, Athena, don't talk about things like that in texts. It could very well lead to a title card. On a bougie jet, that Richard guy from the group chat is bragging to the flight attendant, not stewardess, about rich person shit like caviar. He is, of course, played by Glenn Howerton, who was in The Strangers, and I'll reiterate, plays the exact type of roles I would love to play. Please give me his career, thank you very much. The champagne pouring gets interrupted when a confused guy named Randy stumbles out from the back.
What is happening?
One of them's fucking awake, man.
Randy doesn't know how he wound up here, but a guy named Ted, who says he's a doctor, gets him to calm down and lie on the floor. That makes it a lot easier for him when he stabs him in the neck with a pen. Randy tries to fight back with the champagne bottle, but the woman who owns this place, Athena, who mentioned the hunt in that text, puts an end to it by shoving her heel into his face. Randy screams while she picks his eye from her shoe and dies shortly after being dragged back into storage, the first conservative victim of these man-hunting liberals.
Fucking redneck.
Another captive in yoga pants, played by Emma Roberts, awakens the next day in a forest with her mouth gagged. She's not the only one in this awkward position, and eventually, a whole bunch of trucker-hatted, flannel-shirted folk find themselves in a clearing with a crate in the middle of it. One dude, Tracker, cracks it open with a crowbar, releasing an adorable little piggy dressed up like it were Wishbone. Aw, pigs are great. The crate also has a weapons rack in it, loaded up with so much firepower, it would make Michael Gross and Tremors scream his Don't Tread on Me theme. Yoga Pants finds a key, freeing these 11 confused captives from continuing to look like subs. A guy named Big Game Shane is thanking her for the oral freedom when gunshots start ringing out all around them. Oh shit!
That almost hit me.
And that one did hit ya. Sorry, Ms. Roberts. This ain't American Horror Story. You're dead and gone for good. Great stunt casting there. As Shane watches, gunfire from a pillbox kills one eager beaver who was running right towards him, double-fisting rifles. A woman named Dead Sexy takes off for the tree line and fares a little bit better until she drops into a pit. Shane, looking ever the hunky hero, goes to help her and finds her pretty damn impaled. He gets her out and they resume running into the woods until Shane steps on a landmine and realizes that he just messed up bad. With Emma Roberts and an uncredited Justin Hartley dead, it falls to Ike Barinholtz to take the lead as a dude named Staten Island, though he finds himself unwilling to put Dead Sexy out of her misery.
Shoot me.
No, I'm not gonna shoot you. No, wait,
No, you fucking snowflake!
She does it herself off screen, leaving Staten Island alone as he gets shot at by the police. Shout out to makeup department head Lauren Thomas for the fun practical gore used for Dead Sexy's death there. Actor Sylvia Grace Krim said the prosthetic felt as heavy as one of those trainer fake pregnancy bellies. A lot of this movie's kills use cheap-looking CG blood, but at least us practical fans got at least one good kill to look at. Staten Island
I have no idea, Brody.
Until he finds a barbed wire
I'll
fence,
go buy another
joined by
rat.
that Target guy, a woman Big Red, and a dude Vanilla Nice, played by country musician Sturgill Simpson. 3 of them manage to make it over the fence, but Target is struck by arrows coming out of the woods.
What is this Avatar shit?
He tries making a commendable last stand, but is eventually overwhelmed by arrows and falls to the ground. He survives long
I've been
enough
good,
to
dog.
see
How
a
about you,
mishandled
bro?
grenade thrown next to him,
Wait, did you pull the pin?
as well as a second one with the pin properly removed, killing him with a big boom. The
That's
others
good, dog.
reach a small ma and pa store where the snacks are aplenty and the news is existential. They find out from ma and pa that they're presently in Arkansas, even though the 3 of them are from New York, Wyoming, and Orlando. Staten Island realizes that they must have fallen victim to Manorgate, the conspiracy theory about elite liberals hunting so-called deplorables to death. Ma and Pa start an argument about the Second Amendment, and before you can say Charlton Heston, Big Red starts choking on the donut she was eating, because it was poison, Saboteur! Ma and Pa gas the place, shoot Staten Island in the chest, and after Pa growls to Vanilla Nice that
Climate change is real.
finish him off with a gun butt. After having killed our
They all do,
third
bro.
would-be
They all look high as
protagonist,
shit.
Ma and Pa clean up their kills and reassure themselves of their own mighty morality.
He's wearing a wedding ring.
He's a monster.
Honey, he probably uses the N-word. And not even in private, he probably uses it on Twitter.
Don't worry though. No matter how much they convince themselves their snap judgment of others is justified, it'll never be enough to match the passion of their self-loathing.
Privilege, Julius.
It's perfectly fine to call them black again.
According to who?
NPR.
Which consists almost exclusively of
White people. We're the fucking worst.
The tone of this movie, being just silly enough to not take seriously, works really well for me. So props to director Craig Zobel, a filmmaker who co-created Homestar Runner back in the late 90s. Ma and Pa reset their store just in time for another huntie to arrive. A woman named Crystal, played by Betty Gilpin, who you're gonna see kick a whole lot of ass. She asks where they are and to buy a pack of smokes, but when she gets her change, she realizes something is wrong. So she smashes Ma's head against the counter, jumps back there to grab their shotgun, then shoots Pa dead. You see,
Cigarettes in Arkansas only cost $6. You fucked up, bitch.
You done fucked up, Ma. Yep, 27 minutes in, and we finally settled on a real protagonist. And as fun as the other characters were, this movie is made by Betty Gilpin in the lead role. Crystal don't fuck around. After confirming that she's not actually in Arkansas, and that she's not about to get any free wheels up in this bitch, Crystal runs into another huntie named Gary, played by Ethan Suplee. Hope he can see down that barrel better than he can see schooners. As they follow some railroad tracks, Gary tells Crystal that they're
we're playing Schedule 1, bro. You haven't heard of it? Like a drug dealing game.
You know, the globalist cucks who run the deep state.
But
Bendy,
Crystal is less
I'm down.
concerned with conspiracy theories than she is with hopping onto this moving train. I haven't seen it, but apparently this scene works as an inside reference to Tony Scott's final film, Unstoppable, which featured Ethan Supplee's character failing to board a moving train. You finally did it, buddy! They're not alone inside this cart, though, because there are a whole bunch of immigrants here who aren't speaking English to them.
Oh, come on.
What?
You know what we have here? Crisis actors.
Gary's a podcaster, so he knows all about this stuff. They're not gonna pull one over on him.
Gary, they got a baby.
So? They're crisis babies.
Before things can get violent, the train is stopped by some soldiers with dogs. They pull everyone out of the car, and Gary tells them that he and Crystal are Americans, and that these immigrants aren't real. The soldiers ignore him, but he may not be entirely wrong.
I don't think they believe you, Gary.
Yeah, Mike here actually isn't an immigrant. He's one of the hunters. Though he tells Gary that the other immigrants are real, and so are these soldiers. The train getting stopped like this wasn't part of any plan. Pissed about Crisis Mike's deception, Gary tackles him and sticks a live grenade in his pants. Gary and everyone else is able to clear the area, but Mike's not able to get the nade away from his nads in time. Crystal is taken to a refugee camp where she speaks to some officers in charge and determines that she's in Croatia. She's matched up with another guy getting hunted, Don, who's excited for them to get back to America so they can expose Manorgate on Hannity.
It's like them two Jew boys that fucked Nixon up.
Don's thrilled when a guy named Oliver shows up, saying he's from the U.S. Embassy. But it doesn't take long for him to start acting suspicious, implying that Don and Crystal were chosen to be hunted for a reason. Crystal smells the bullshit a mile away and refuses to humor him for even a minute.
A minor that might make somebody want to try something.
She tosses him out of the car and promptly murders him by driving directly over his head. Don freaks out about it for a mo, but Crystal proves she was in the right when she finds Gary dead in the trunk, a knife in his head.
Jesus.
Nope, it's Gary.
Don does a count and realizes that they're the last two hunties alive. And though he just wants to get out of there, Crystal wants to follow this map they found and confront the people hunting them. To explain
Dude, you play
herself, she
Monster Hunter
recites
now?
a story her mom used to tell,
I haven't
the
seen
box
it.
turtle and the jackrabbit. Wait, she means the tortoise and the hare, right?
Buddy.
I mean, sounds the same. Jackrabbit always wins races, is a big old stupid dickhole about it, ends up getting beaten by the box turtle because of his arrogance.
It's fun? I'm gonna look into
We
it,
all know
bro.
this story. Except in Crystal's version, the jackrabbit ends up visiting the box turtle's home with a hammer that night.
Smashes up the wife and kids first, so the box turtle has to watch them die.
So, sure, yeah,
Oh,
maybe
mobile?
some
Oh,
slight
shit.
variations. She says the
Not really a mobile
jackrabbit
gamer.
killed the turtle because the jackrabbit always wins. The jackrabbit being the wealthy and powerful elite. But Crystal's done being a goddamn box turtle. We shift focus to the coastal elite pillbox, or maybe it's a bunker, I don't know. I'm about as well versed in weaponry as these clueless folks, who would feel much more comfortable in ivory towers policing each other's language.
Guys, we're all on the same team.
Did you say guys?
I'm sorry, I gendered it.
I love that they're wearing pristine, unused fatigues.
Yeah,
It's a nice
organize my
touch
shit.
by costume designer David Tabbert. Since they're not very good with guns, the hunters have a guy named Sergeant Dale consulting them. But he can't be there every time they have to tinkle, and so when Richard goes to drain the lizard, he gets distracted by Don and his throat slit by Crystal. Dale hears a noise and puts the clueless hunters on high alert, so when their bunker is invaded by that cute little pig, they shoot it all to death. Oh no!
Orwell!
As in George. There's been this whole Animal Farm thing going on that I haven't really mentioned until now, but it's fine. Now, obviously, I don't count pigs. But I do count people when their heads blow up, so on to the count this Martin guy goes. Crystal shoots Dale in the chest and sticks an arrow into Liberty, and though Ted the doctor thinks he outsmarts her by pulling out the magazine, she knows there's still one in the chamber, so he gets shot in the chest and killed. Crystal then uses the scoped rifle to shoot down and kill a fleeing guy named Peter. Sergeant Dale gets back up to fight
Is it
some more,
different? Oh,
but he
it's just
finds
bro.
himself outmatched by Crystal, who we find out shortly
This was
served
I'll
in
check it out,
Afghanistan,
shit.
while Dale's service was spent in the National Guard. Like I said earlier, Crystal kicks a lot of ass, and Betty Gilpin trained for months to prepare for the role.
You know, I think there's this pressure for ladies especially to train but also slim down, and I definitely did not want to do that. I was looking to look strong and be strong.
She says it was totally worth it, though, to play an active character instead of another housewife. An injured Liberty calls Crystal a hick, and when Don finally shows up and wants to spare the wounded woman, the ladies tell him that that's sexist.
She's a woman.
Hey, miss. Do you think you should be afforded mercy
That's
just
what's up,
because
bro.
you're a girl? No.
And that's what we call equal rights, Don. Don't talk down to women trying to murder you. Athena's voice comes over the radio, and she talks to Don by name, which of course draws Crystal's suspicions and gun. Don denies knowing who Athena is, but is also unwilling to disarm himself, so Crystal ends up shooting and killing him off screen. Then she tells Athena through the radio that she's the only one left.
Then I guess you better come and get me.
Crystal
Basically,
asks
this game,
Dale
you gotta
where
pack
Athena
weed.
is, and with some physical encouragement, gets the location of the manor. Then she thanks Dale for his service and shoots him off screen. We flash back to 1 year earlier when Athena, who still hasn't done a face reveal, finds herself in an emergency meeting at her company, filmed in the real-life office of Jason Blum. In fact, co-writers Damon Lindelof and Nick Hughes, son of Lindelof's Lost partner Carlton Hughes, intentionally wrote The Hunt to be a Blumhouse film in terms of tone and budget. Filming in Jason Blum's actual office was like a nice little cherry on top of getting this thing made. The emergency meeting is because that Martin guy, the head explodey dude, got his phone hacked, and one of the things leaked to the public was the group text that opened the movie.
Athena, at least the hunt's coming up. Nothing better than going out to the manor and slaughtering a dozen deplorables.
We learned that back when she sent that text, the hunt wasn't real, and Athena was only joking. But after the thread was made public, people started believing Manorgate was legit. Hilary Swank is finally revealed as Athena's actor, as she laughs in disbelief, even though this is no laughing matter.
Conspiracy websites are all over it. They're going bananas. They're going berserk. Reddit? I mean, I don't know the names of them all.
They chide her for using the loaded term deplorables and say that in order to save their company's reputation, she and everyone in that group text are fired. A few months later, Athena and the others began tracking down the individuals online who fueled the Manorgate fire that cost them their jobs. Gary's chosen because of his podcast, Shane because he's, as his nickname suggested, a big game hunter, and this guy is not chosen despite an argument for affirmative action.
And if we don't have at least one person of color in this, it is going to be problematic.
I'm playing an Arab refugee. I'm from Connecticut. Isn't that a little problematic?
That was your idea.
It was your idea. It was weird when you said it.
Their last choice is one that Athena takes a
You just watch
personal
Queso play this?
interest in. Crystal May Creasy, Twitter handle Justice for Y'all, who tweeted that Athena was a murdering bitch.
That's our snowball.
Back in the present, Crystal gets to the manor and, being told that there are mines beneath her feet, agrees to Athena's commands over the call box to leave her gun behind. She enters unarmed and finds a who's who wall of the huntees. Oof, Staten Island with the tiki torches. She can continues towards the sound of classical music and finds Athena cooking up a fancy dinner in a fancy kitchen. The two women are finally face to face, intentionally dressed in similar tones as Melania Trump and Michelle Obama at Donald Trump's inauguration. Though Crystal says she has no idea who Athena is, Athena proclaims that she knows everything about Crystal, then speed runs through a biography that includes a criminal father and a dead mom. Athena says Crystal was chosen for the hunt because of the online post she made about Athena being a murderer.
The evidence is all there. THEIR.
But Crystal tells Athena that she made a mistake.
There's another Crystal May crazy back home. But she spells May with an E. Hey, I get her mail sometimes.
She says her parents are both alive and free, but that she knows Athena doesn't care whether that's true or not. So how about they just get on to the fight? The fight scene between these two is a perfect synthesis of choreography, music, and sound effects. There are so many fun moments to it, including Athena using a wooden light fixture to ring Crystal's Liberty Bell, Athena using a creme brulee torch as a weapon, and Crystal kicking Athena through one of those fancy fireplaces. Though Athena breaks her own rule by breaking out a gun, she never gets a shot off at Crystal. She just pinches some skin with it. Ouch! Crystal does a great second-story table fall, takes a knife to the gut like a champ, tackles Athena over a table, and then throws her through a window. Hold on. Here, second take. There we go. That gets him to take a breather for a second, because turns out going through glass is really unpleasant. After a few more Miyagi moves, Athena stabs Crystal with a food processor blade and a meat thermometer. Shouldn't have continued with the bonus beatdown though, because that allows Crystal to pull Athena into the blade and do a little somersault thing that lodges it into her opponent's gut. The fight finally finishes with both of them bleeding out on the floor. The 7-minute fight scene between these women is my favorite part of the movie, and a lot went into making it this awesome. With the screenplay only saying an epic fight scene happens, it fell to director Craig Zobel to plot it out in specifics. He worked with a bunch of his crew, including production designer Matthew Munn and stunt coordinators Hank Amos and Heidi Moneymaker, to choreograph the best fight possible for this climactic showdown. To that end, they built the kitchen set on a New Orleans soundstage and specifically designed it around the fight.
When you actually have a set that's built for you, specifically to crash through this wall and to fly through that fireplace.
It is amazing.
With Betty Gilpin having played a wrestler in Glow, and Hilary Swank a boxer in $1 Million Baby, they were both game to do most of the action themselves. So the fight was tailored to their strengths, both as actors and characters. A lot of kicks and weapon improvisation for Athena, while Crystal employed a more squirrely and aggressive style. The scene was shot over 5 12-hour days, with stunt performers Sarah Irwin and Caitlin Deschelle subbing in for the big falls and stuff like going through the fireplace. There's so much to say about this scene that I can't do it all here. So I recommend you check out this very cool video from Insider that features a lot more details and diagrams. Link in the description. Athena and Crystal are left bleeding on the floor, with Crystal wondering why Athena nicknamed her Snowball. Like, she gets that it's from Animal Farm, but
Snowball is an idealist. He wants to make the world a better place. That's why the other pigs make up lies about him, turn him into the enemy.
Athena asks Crystal if she's really justice for y'all, and Crystal reiterates that she's not. So with a single little whoops, Athena dies on the tile floor, the last of the hunters vanquished. Crystal suddenly notices a jackrabbit nearby, and, not wanting to get smashed with a hammer, gets up off the ground. She has a quick bite of grilled cheese, cauterizes her wounds, and gives herself a makeover so that she looks like a hunter herself. Much like how the pigs in Animal Farm ended up looking like their human oppressors. She boards the private jet out back and tells the crew that she killed all the rich douches who flew here. So would they please take her home now, please? In contrast to Richard's condescension in the beginning, the movie ends with Crystal sharing her champagne and caviar with the flight attendant. She's happy to do so, and happy to be alive.
It's fucking great.
Oh god. Oh.
Yo, what's up, Bentley?
22 people died in the hunt, a solid number for this well-paced film. 16 of the victims were men and 6 were women, a nearly 3-to-1 ratio of dudes, which is sexist. And with a runtime of 90 minutes, that left us with a kill on average just about every 4 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Dead Sexy
Yeah, I remember you,
for
bro.
all the things that led up to her death, as well as the joke where she called someone a snowflake for not mercy killing her. I love it. Dull Machete for lamest kill will go to Don, shot off screen after Athena turned Crystal against him. And that's it. The Hunt came out in 2020 and is the most harmless, politically tinged movie you could ask for in these hyper-partisan times. Next week, I'm looking at the very fun Mayhem, but until then, I'm James A. Denise.
I haven't played Fortnite in a minute,
Kill
bro.
Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank some patrons like Destinea Perkins, Rue Rowe, Jesse Sterling, Edwin Esparza, and David Weemus. Chelsea and I covered The Hunt on a podcast episode when it came out, so check that out if you want to hear more of our thoughts. And if you want to watch Mayhem before Sunday, it's always available on Shudder, so check it out there. Be good people.
Let us be clear. The Silver Lake Salem Joint 1 School District takes this matter extremely seriously. The safety and well-being of our students is our top priority.
Graphic and disturbing new details are coming out about a teacher's aide in Wisconsin who prosecutors have charged with more sex crimes after her original arrest. We got our hands on the amended criminal complaint, which lays out how Anna Maria Crocker allegedly violated the trust of her students and the consequences she could face. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, more students in Kenosha County, Wisconsin have come forward to accuse elementary school staffer, 33-year-old Anna Marie Crocker, of sexual assault. Crocker was originally charged last month with 3 felonies, but on November 1st, an amended complaint was filed. So now those charges, they're up to 7. During a court hearing, the prosecutor said that her office is being flooded with tips and said that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Authorities say Crocker, a mother of 4, forced herself on her son's 12-year-old friend during a sleepover. She's also accused of sending explicit messages to several other teenagers. Crocker was an educational assistant at Riverview School in Silver Lake, which has students from kindergarten through 8th grade. She was fired at a specially called school board meeting in October.
There is no playbook on how to handle situations this disturbing and sensitive in nature. And our administrative team and office staff handled this situation promptly and with the utmost seriousness and care. And for that, we are grateful for their leadership throughout this matter. Let us be clear. The Silver Lake Salem Joint 1 School District takes this matter extremely seriously. The safety and well-being of our students is our top priority. We are committed to maintaining a safe and nurturing environment for everyone in our district. Anyone that seeks to harm or prey on children will not have a place in our school community. To that point, Anna Crocker was arrested Wednesday morning and removed from the district promptly. Her employment with the district has since been terminated.
Now, before we dive into the new criminal complaint, I do want to warn you that there are a lot of details that are difficult to listen to. They are honestly stomach-turning. And so we're not going to get into everything. We're not getting into specific, but it is important to understand why she's facing such serious charges, what she's facing, and also the kind of punishment she could potentially face if she's found guilty. So to talk about this, I want to bring in an expert on this, trial attorney David Ring, who specializes in sexual abuse cases. David, so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on. Let me first just start real quick with the laundry list of charges that Crocker faces, and also the sentencing guidelines if she's convicted. So we have first-degree child sexual assault. This is sexual intercourse with a child under the age of 13. Our understanding carries up to 60 years in prison. Possession of child pornography, at least 3 years, no more than 25 years. Sexual exploitation of a child, this is the filming component. This is at least 5 years, no more than 40 years. Exposing genitals, no more than 3 years. Exposing a child to harmful material, up to 3 years. Child enticement, up to 25 years. Exposure to a child to harmful descriptions, up to 3 years in prison. So if she's convicted and gets the maximum penalty, David, on each charge, am I looking at it the wrong way, or could she be looking at more than 100 years in prison? And is that actually reality, a practical reality of what she could be facing here?
Well, yeah, she could be facing, you know, a lifetime in prison. The reality of it really probably is if she's convicted, she's going to get very, very significant time. I mean, I could see a judge sentencing her to 20 plus years in prison for these crimes. This lady is absolutely a predator, no doubt about it. She's gonna go to prison for a long time.
Look, she's innocent until proven guilty, right? She hasn't been convicted, but assuming all of this is true, and she gets convicted across the board of all this, and we will go through these allegations, any kind of mitigating factors that would help her during sentencing? Is it mental health issues, her upbringing, what was going on in her life, anything like that that could factor in to a case like this?
All of those elements you just mentioned could factor in. The fact that she's got young children, she's obviously a mother with 4 children that apparently are, you know, teenagers or younger, that could factor in. And the mental health aspect could also factor in. We haven't heard much about that, so we don't know. But look, she's going to have to, assuming she's convicted, she's going to have to bring in either experts or friends or relatives. We're going to have to come in and testify as to give some explanation of why she
I'm so
acted this
confused,
way.
bro.
I don't know if that's going to carry the day, though, because these are heinous crimes, if true.
By the way, a little more background on Miss Crocker here. So we looked at her criminal history on TruthFinder. All we had to do was put in her name and her location, and the powerful background checker was able to pull up information about her. We were able to confirm that Crocker was convicted of speeding, had to pay a $225 fine. No other criminal history was listed. But it's a really great tool because Law and Crime, we partner with TruthFinder. We use it to get details on people involved in almost all of our stories. But look, even if you don't work in true crime, this can just be an excellent resource to give you some peace of mind. It's one of the largest public record search services in the United States. And by the way, with a paid subscription service, you can get access to unlimited reports about almost anyone. And if you're interested right now, you can get 50% off of your first month of confidential background reports. You just got to go to truthfinder.com/LC sidebar. But going back to this, here's what deputies in Kenosha County say they found out. So on October 8th, a man apparently called police to report that his 13-year-old son was forced to have sex with the mother of his friend. The alleged victim, identified as ZG in the probable cause statement, told deputies that he met Crocker's son at school. They were friends. He said that he had been to Crocker's home, quote, countless times. And the probable cause statement says, quote, ZG described the defendant as acting crazy every time he is over there because she is a heavy drinker. ZG then described an incident that occurred 9 to 10 months ago in the wintertime. He was at the defendant's house for a sleepover with some friends. Throughout the evening, they played basketball, went for a walk, and played video games. Everyone went to bed around midnight. ZG slept on the couch in the basement. While asleep on the couch, he was woken up by the defendant, who was naked. The defendant had removed ZG's pants and was on top of him. Eventually, his friends heard noises and went downstairs. The defendant tried to hide, but his friends saw what happened. ZG went upstairs and told his friends what happened and then went to bed. David, that is just horrifying. And also, it makes you wonder why it doesn't come out until so much longer. You know, you have the allegation that this happened to this young boy, but also people see it as well. Talk to me what your thoughts are on this.
I've represented children my entire career in these types of cases, and it's not unusual at all that this victim would not go tell someone right away. You know, he's a boy. He doesn't know what to do. He's 12 years old. This is a shocking, unbelievable incident to him, and kids don't know how to react to that. I think she also down the road kind of threatened him and said, hey, you can't tell anyone about this. That's always very effective on the victim. And so it's not unusual at all that he didn't tell, or at least didn't tell for a while, truly. And so the other thing is that these other boys saw it. Again, it's not unusual for other boys who saw it not to tell. I mean, they're probably talking amongst themselves, but for them to go to an adult and say what happened, they probably think no adult's going to believe this.
Yeah, but you know what? There was also apparently rumors that were going around the school about what the students saw, about what happened. And I just imagine if there's rumors going around, people were talking about, how did the school staff not know about it?
Well, ultimately, I think what happened here was, jumping ahead a little bit, is another boy who she victimized did tell the school. And and went and told a school staffer that, hey, she's sending me Snapchat, sexual content, videos, things like that. So you do have at some point one victim who comes forward and tells school authority, and the school authority tells the police, and there she goes. She's going to get arrested. So look, it went on long enough where you eventually have someone telling an adult who does the right thing.
So let me get into this a little bit more, and I'll stick with ZG, because at one point, when apparently he was getting ready for football one day, he tells his mom he didn't feel well, goes to the bathroom, and he says he starts dry heaving, and he reportedly made the comment, "I thought I would never have to think about it again." And that's when he told his mom what had happened. So David, absolutely horrific allegations, and this all seems to be proof that all children, male or female, deeply affected by something like this. It's one thing to not report, but look at the actual, if you take that allegation as true, the physical effect it has on these victims.
Absolutely. I mean, it's horrific. Look, this is a crime of child rape. If the allegations are true, this lady went downstairs and took this boy's clothes off, 12-year-old boy. She's 33 years old. Took this boy's clothes off and essentially raped him. And so you can imagine the impact that has on a young kid, on anybody, even an adult. But the impact on this young kid who doesn't have the tools to know what to do, doesn't have anyone to tell, doesn't think he can tell anyone. He's holding it inside for a long time. And it's not unusual to have physical symptoms, physical sickness arise because of what happened. Truly horrific crime.
It really is. And you mentioned it, ZG was not the only child that Crocker's accused of targeting. So we have this 14-year-old, JPF, those are the initials in the filing, and told the school resource officer at the local high school that he had been exchanging sexual chats and pictures with Crocker on Snapchat for, quote, a long time. Goes back to that question about it had to take him and the other person to come forward, and why did the school staff not know? But he also told this deputy that Crocker had sexually assaulted him in a parking lot in another county in August of 2024. The probable cause statement goes into detail about what ZG revealed in his forensic interview, which we're not going to get into, but it does note ZG said he told her repeatedly to get off of him, but she would not listen. He also tried to push her off. Now, unfortunately, the victim's trauma really didn't end there, because according to police, ZG stated that a couple months ago, someone had given the defendant his phone number. She texted him identifying herself as Anna and was telling ZG to apologize to her for what happened in the basement. ZG described the defendant as trying to make him feel guilty. The defendant also told him he could not tell anyone about what happened. ZG blocked her as a result. David, so twisted. So, taking this allegation as true, Crocker, the adult, is trying to make a child admit that he was at fault for what happened, that he needed to apologize to her. Is this something that we see in these kinds of cases? I don't know if we want to call it manipulation, want to call it gaslighting, but an attempt to stay out of trouble, reverse the narrative, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you see perpetrators try to make the victim feel like it's the victim's fault. Hey, you're the one who wanted this to happen. You're the one who texted me back. You're the one who got in my car with me. And so they try to manipulate the victim. You used a good phrase, gaslighting. They try to make the victim feel shame and guilt and fear. And all of that plays into the victim not coming forward for a while, or maybe never. And that's what they do. They manipulate these young kids into believing that it's their fault, that no one's going to believe them, that if they come forward, they're going to get in trouble because somehow they participated in this. So, I mean, this lady is, if true, she's twisted, and for her to try to make this kid apologize to her for what happened is just, it's bizarre, but she somehow thought it was going to help her in some weird way.
So investigators, they end up speaking to Crocker. Detective interviews Crocker, and she admits, yeah, I received this explicit video from JPF, saves it to her phone, and she also admitted to sending the video to another female student at Riverview. Why admit it? Because she has, I guess, you can't deny what the cell phone data shows?
Well, look, if criminals were incredibly smart, none of them would be behind bars, right? I mean, this lady's just so wrapped up in everything that's going on in her life and all these twisted crimes. I think she can't keep track of anything. And what's really going to doom her, assuming all this is true, what we're hearing from the authorities, what's going to doom her is what's on her phone. Is the authorities have her phone, and they've gone through it, and they have found all of these Snapchat messages and videos and photos that corroborate exactly what these young boys are saying happened. And so that's ultimately what's going to doom her is the evidence on her own phone.
Let's explore that a little bit, because police also spoke to another 13-year-old identified as CPW, who said he was also talking with Crocker or communicating with Crocker on Snapchat, and said she sent him lewd videos. And Crocker reportedly sent the teen, sorry to say this, a video of her pleasuring herself. According to the probable cause statement, when CPW first opened it, he thought it was a workout video, but it wasn't. He clicked through the video and didn't respond. He stated he was too young for that. CPW said then he became scared, blocked the defendant. He said he was scared because of what happened to his friend ZG, who told CPW that the defendant raped him. So many different elements to this, Dave. And one thing I didn't mention before as we're listening to this, there's no such thing as consent when you're dealing with minors. But to have this added level to it, where they say, I didn't want this, I'm too young for this, I tried to push her off, and she keeps going forward, that's another insidious element to that as well. And also, I have to say, using Snapchat, which you and I both know, is a social media platform where some of those things can be deleted, right? I think that's a specific kind of social media platform.
Yeah, well, so two things. One, the use of force is outrageous, and you're right. No child can consent to having sex with an adult, right? Now, a lot of times kids are manipulated and groomed, and the adult says, well, gee, they agreed to do it. No, they're under the legal age. They cannot agree. And so it's all manipulation. But you're right. Here in this case, it's just force. This is just child rape, where the kid's trying to fight her off, doesn't want it to happen, and she goes ahead and makes it happen. It's a horrific crime. With respect to the Snapchat stuff, that's what makes it really difficult for parents, for adults to try to, prevent these things from happening, because Snapchat messages, as we all know, disappear. You could pick up your kid's phone and say, hey, what's my kid up to these days? And let me go through his text messages, and unless he's deleted them, they might still be there. Snapchat messages, they're gone, right? Yeah. Most of the time. And so it's really tough to detect these crimes as a parent. Very frustrating, And so this lady knew what she was doing. She's using Snapchat for a particular reason, because she believes all those messages will disappear. Unfortunately for her, authorities are always able to retrieve those messages because they have the tools to do so.
And there are several documented incidents where Crocker had contacted other young teenage boys, typically by adding them on Snapchat, striking up a conversation. For example, another teen, RDH, said he got a weird message from Crocker. When asked what the weird message was, RDH said the defendant asked him how old he was. RDH replied that he was 13 years old, to which the defendant replied, I like that. RDH blocked her immediately after that. Here's another example with a teen identified as SDW, which deputies found out when they searched Crocker's Snapchat data. The defendant advises SDW that she saw him on the homecoming float for his high school. She then asks SDW how old he is, to which SDW replies, about to be 17. The defendant then tells SDW her age and that for employment, she is a teacher and is starting to sell real estate. Well, it turns out SDW is the older brother of one of her son's friends. Not great for her. So David, again, I think it's horrifying to hear this. Really, I don't know how you argue away those kinds of messages unless you say, oh, somebody else was impersonating me on the phone, which I think would be rather difficult. But, you talked about the sense of grooming and the sense of luring people. It seems, though, that she was using, if these allegations are true, her own child's friend group as a kind of hunting ground. Is that something that we've seen before, where you have a staff member whose own children go to a school and then, kind of use them as a way to stay in contact with these kids?
As sick and demented as that is, yes, I've seen it happen a lot, where the teacher or a worker at the school, their friends, their kid has their friends over for sleepovers or just to have them over, and they use that as a target for victims, their own child's friend group. I mean, as outrageous as that sounds, I have absolutely seen that happen before. And it just shows you how demented the perpetrator is. I mean, this lady, based upon everything we've talked about today, Jesse, this lady is a classic predator. I mean, no doubt about it. And look, society, we always think of males as being a predator. The male is always, hey, this lady is as bad as they get. She's a female predator going after young boys, and she's manipulating them using, sex and videos and sexual talk to draw them in and then to take advantage of them.
Because there's so many alleged victims here, and now the prosecutor in the county is saying she's receiving tons and tons of tips, if there are more alleged victims or more instances or more witnesses to this, is the school district liable at all for any of this? That they didn't find out about this and didn't stop it?
Remains to be seen. My understanding is she worked there for about 4 years. She started off as kind of a substitute teacher's aide, and then they hired her full-time. Look, in my experience, 9 out of 10 times, there's a lot of red flags or warning signs that school officials or administrators should have known that something was going on. But to be fair, there's other times where they didn't know. Where this, for example, if this lady, it was all text messages, is outside of the classroom, no one possibly could have known she was texting or Snapchatting these boys, then maybe the school didn't know. But it remains to be seen, and it's something that should always be looked into as, hey, could this have been prevented? Because she's a school employee, and presumably some of these boys went to that school. That's where the relationship or the connection started.
Well, for now, Crocker is locked up on a $500,000 bond. Her attorney says she is maintaining her innocence, and her next court appearance is scheduled for November 22nd. David Ring, thank you so much for coming on. Good seeing you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, what a story. Thank you so much for joining us here on Sidebar as we cover it. As always, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. Speak to you next time. A former New Jersey teacher could soon face jail time after being arrested for alleged sexual misconduct with an 18-year-old student. But you know what? These allegations are not the first controversy the Monmouth County School District has faced in recent years. The question we ask is, what is going on? Well, we're going to break it down with board-certified psychiatrist Dr. Zeev Cohen. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. One New Jersey County School District is no stranger to scandal, from minor issues which face backlash, like banning homeschool kids within the district from joining clubs and sports, to several major problems, including locker room hazing. These incidents which led to the students being criminally charged, and perhaps the most serious of them all, multiple teachers arrested accused of sexual relationships with students. Most recently, we're going to talk about 36-year-old married teacher Julie Rizzatello. Now, Rizzatello resigned from her teaching position at Wall High School just days before her arrest on July 3rd, 2024, for allegedly engaging in sex acts with a student several times earlier this year. This is according to the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. Rizzatello of Brick Township is charged with 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault, 3 counts of criminal sexual contact, and witness tampering. An investigation into the allegations revealed the alleged misconduct with the student started earlier this year and happened on multiple occasions within at least 3 different jurisdictions, Wall and Brick Townships and the borough of Belmar, between April and June. Now, it's alleged that Rizzatello had sexually assaulted this student multiple times, including in his own car, and authorities also say that Rizzatello sent the student nude photos. Now, prior to her resignation, the 36-year-old teacher taught 9th grade English and SAT prep at Wall High. This is according to her now deleted online school profile. She's been with the Wall Township Public School District since 2013. She was married in 2017 to her husband, Joseph. Now, here's something that's interesting. This teen was 18 years old when this happened. And you might be asking yourself, well, wait a second, if he's 18, how is that illegal? Well,